My name is Molly Stark Dean. I'm a journalist. I've spent my career in newsrooms covering business, building audiences, telling other people's stories. My family isn't the only victim in this story. This is the story I never wanted to tell. My grandfather, Alexander C. Stark Jr., died on July 18th, 2025. He was a builder. He was an engineer. He built a career. He built a family. And before he died, he built a trust, a legal structure designed to protect his grandchildren after he was gone. My grandfather left me money. It's in writing, it's in his will, it's documented and legally binding. I received some of the documentation owed to me. It's almost a year later, and I'm still waiting for the rest. Now, I'm a business journalist. I know what a trust is. I know what a fiduciary is. I know what qualified beneficiary means under Florida law. So when the explanations stopped making sense, I did what any journalist would do. I started asking questions. I sent formal written requests to the co-trustees of my trust asking for the documents I am legally entitled to receive under Florida Statute 736.0813. That law is clear. A trustee must provide a qualified beneficiary with trust accountings, trust instrument, and relevant financial information. I asked in writing repeatedly for nearly a year. My name is Molly Stark Dean. I'm a Wikimedian. In broadcast news, there's these things called pronouncers that helps you know what something sounds like out loud. Because I wanted to sound smart in this video, I looked up how to pronounce statute numbers by reading podcast scripts from lawyers. A broadcast call sign is a letter in a broadcast news station. From NBC to ABC to CBS, my career up and down the call sign alphabet taught me how to ask lots of questions. Here's what I found while I was asking. The Source Trust shows $425,990 in principal disbursements between July and December 2025. The disposition of those funds has never been disclosed to me as a qualified beneficiary. There is a line item for $221,000 described as miscellaneous fees. When I asked what that meant, I was told it was asset transfers, but the corresponding entries in my individual trust account were never produced. On March 11th, 2026, unauthorized discretionary trading occurred in my account without my knowledge or consent. 10 federal and state regulatory agencies have opened files on this case. The SEC, FINRA, the DOJ, the CFPB, the OCC, the FBI, the Florida Office of Financial Regulation, among others. I did not go looking for a federal case. The federal case came to me when I started looking at the numbers. A year before my grandfather died, the federal government ordered the bank to pay millions for record-keeping failures. The bank my grandfather trusted. The SEC filed another action against the bank's investment services. The same bank that co-administers my trust. The victims in that case came from a trust set up for victims of other crimes. I wish I could tell you more. These are the people responsible for keeping records of my grandfather's money. My name is Molly Stark-Dean, and I'm a daughter. My mother called me. She told me my written responses to the bank were harassment. She told me to apologize. I want you to think about that for a moment. She told me to apologize. A named beneficiary of an irrevocable trust asking for legally required documents. Being told by a co-trustee to apologize to the bank for asking questions. A wealth manager expert I spoke to about this situation told me they told a journalist to stop asking questions. I documented the call. I documented everything because that's what journalists do. I have been tracking who reads my emails. Since May 21st, my email chain with the bank has been opened over 1,300 times. Coral Gables, Florida, Boston, Atlanta, Boca Raton, Miami, after hours, before business hours, from masked locations. The banks are reading every word I write. They read the emails where I cited the statute. They read the email where I set the compliance deadline. They read the script probably before you do. Probably not, but who knows. Here is where I am right now. I signed a retainer with lawyers. It took months to find a team willing to commit to a case this complex. They believe in it. Florida probate closes on June 10th. If I cannot raise the money to retain these lawyers before that date, this case may close quietly, confidentially, permanently, without our family's knowledge or names on the docket, without accountability, without answers. Here's what I found on the docket myself. The final accounting was filed on May 11th, 2026. Neither I nor my siblings were ever served. Under Florida law, the personal representative is required to serve the accounting on every interested person before the objection clock even starts running. That didn't happen. The estate of Alexander C. Stark Jr. may be moved toward a quiet, confidential close without his grandchildren ever being notified that it ever was happening. I found that out by looking up the public docket myself, because I'm a journalist and journalists check the docket. My name is Molly Stark-Dean. I'm a granddaughter asking for what my grandfather built. I ask for accountability after other such cases closed in silence. I ask for the victims without an audience. I am a journalist who found herself inside the story. I have documents. I have the timeline. I have the email chain. I have the regulatory filings. I have the tracking data. What I need is the funding to walk into the room where I can say all of it on the record, in court, with a legal team standing next to me. My grandfather was the architect who restructured AT&T after the breakup of the Bell system. He built a story worth fighting for. That is the Papa Stark Fund. Every dollar goes directly to a legal team ready to file. My grandfather spent his life building something for his family. I am not going to let it disappear quietly. My name is Molly Stark-Dean. I'm a journalist. I take notes. I tell stories. and I'm just getting started.